Hello, how are we doing, Reds? Hope you're having a lovely night, whatever you've been up to. Let me know in the comment section below what you've been up to all around the world. This is the pre-match build-up show. Liverpool against Brentford. The first time since 1947 the sides played out a 1-1 draw at Griffin Park, which resulted in the Bees' relegation from the top flight, whilst Liverpool went on to win the title. That was back in 1947. But it's refreshing to see Brentford back in the top flight. As we said, it's been quite a while. Let me know what your thoughts on the game, your team selection. And we'll just be discussing Brentford as an opposition, how they will tend to go up. Frank and Jurgen Klopp have got very much similarities in the way in which they do approach football. Two of the most charismatic managers within the Premier League. It's refreshing to see Frank and Jurgen Klopp, the way in which both managers do go about in terms of their managerial, in terms of their sense as a football club. Frank is very publicly known that he's very much similar in terms of Jurgen Klopp in the way in which he approaches the fans outside the stadium, his press conferences as well. And obviously the first game of the Premier League new season was against Arsenal. And a lot of fat neutrals were like, oh, Arsenal should win this. No, Brentford played football the right way, a positive way. And as a neutral watching them in the Championship over recent times, the last couple of years, they finally got into the big time after a very, very long time out in the wilderness of the Premier League anyway. But it's refreshing. As I said, they play football the right way. Thomas Frank, he's got them playing very well. And let me know your thoughts on how well you have been impressed by Brentford this season. Obviously, Ben Rahman, obviously he did move to West Ham last year. You've got Ivan Toney, Canos, which we'll discuss tonight, and a lot of other good Premier League players as well that will capture the imaginations of Brentford fans up and down the length and breadth of the UK this season when they're travelling away, Brentford fans, and when Liverpool do rock up to their home stadium as well. This is what football is all about. When you are in the Premier League, this is what the big time. You're in the big time to play the big opposition, but this will not be an easy game. Might that be said? As I said, they absolutely dominated Arsenal. We might laugh and joke about how badly Arsenal have started this Premier League season, but Brentford are not going to be mugs this year. On my pre-season predictor, I very much envision them finishing in mid-table, easy 10th to 14th. I think you will surprise a lot of teams are looking in around the Premier League this year. And last year and the year before, there's some absolute dross of football getting played within the Premier League. As I said, Frank, the way in which he approaches the game, but tactically as well, as a manager, I think he's very capable of really establishing him and his Brentford side very comfortably mid-table in the Premier League. As long as they do stay clear of injuries, as we mentioned, Ivan Toney was at Brentford, got his move to Peterborough, got a lot of goals in League One, and then he made that step up to Brentford in the Championship anyway, and he bagged a 30-plus goals. I know 7 or 8 of them were penalties last year, but it's still a massive achievement, and he's taken to the Premier League very well. Obviously, the game against Wolves, could have had a hat-trick, really. Got a couple of them ruled out anyway. As we mentioned, the win against Arsenal, the 0-0 against Palace, but still a great point considering how well Patrick Vieira's side have really established themselves early on in this season. A point away from Villa Park. We know how difficult it is to go to Villa Park. Don't mention that scoreline. And obviously, most notably, that 2-0 win against Wolves, which, yes, Wolves couldn't really finish the Christmas dinner, but hey, it's still a fantastic. But the way in which they were so dominant, if you haven't watched Brentford this season, after this weekend as well, really implore you, because they're fantastic. When you watch from a neutral point of view, you play football the right way. And certain clubs in the Premier League, yes, they do the business in the Premier League, they stay in the Premier League. But as a Brentford fan, I was just speaking to Nick on the Red Sea podcast as well. He's a massive diehard Brentford fan. He's been going to the game for years, but he's made up with the football that Frank has been playing. Tactically as well, he's got Brentford playing. But let's get to all your comments in the comment section below as well. As we said, Dave, how you doing, Dave? I'll drop the link to you, Dave. You're very welcome to join, mate. I was going to drop you the link, but I think it's a bit late in the night. But I will, if you want to get involved, Reds, let me know. I will drop the link to you on your Twitter DMs. So you're very welcome to join. Sean, how you doing, mate? Absolute legend, Sean. Hope you had a lovely birthday, mate. I'm pretty sure you did, mate. Big up, Jack. Much love. John, really do appreciate it, John, watching all the content, not just on my channel, but everyone's channels as well. Absolute legend. Andrew, hello, how are we? I think Liverpool Brentford will be a clash of the Titans, the Avengers versus Thanos and the Rocky Balboa. And yes, that's one way of putting it, Andrew, but that's spot on. Because as I said, it won't be easy for Liverpool come the weekend. As I said, the way in which they approach football, it'll be interesting tactically how Frank does set up. Do you like to tend to have a lot of percentage football, really? You call it that. But I think the Liverpool, Ivan Toney, and the other lad up front, they're number 19. I don't want to butcher his name, but number 19 for Brentford. They've played very well in the league already. Evening, Jack, on Cater fanboy on tonight. Obviously, I mean, Connor, yeah, Chris, don't get me started on Nappy, mate. I think he's already injured. Kicking the turf. Would you be like, after that or walking up the stairs? You never know with Nappy anyway. Hello, fellow Reds. How are you doing, Amons? We should beat Brentford with some ease, really. Amons, if only football was that easy, mate. But we've got to be positive. We've got to be respectful as well on this channel. I know I have, and we all, and you probably laugh at all my predictions, but I know I have done a couple of 5-0, 6-0s already this season, but that's me and my absolute deludedness of I should be on Soccer Saturday with those predictions, really. Me and a couple of the pundits on there. We'd go hand in hand with my shocking predictions. I'm not shocked by Brentford's start. I expected there's any good teams. Love the way they recruit and play. Favourite team to watch in the Championship. Zuki, let me know, everyone in the comment section below, have you been impressed with the way in which Brentford have started? Yes, they've got us, and then they've got City, and then obviously Man United in the coming weeks. But I was speaking to Nick just before we come on air, as we recorded with the Red Sea podcast. These aren't the games that they expect to win, and rightly so. But football is football. Any team, not to be cliche, but any team can win. And we've seen Liverpool have difficult fixtures. Not a lot in recent years, but we have stumbled across a couple of difficult fixtures. Watford away, and obviously the Aston Villa games. Not always the games do go the way in which we planned, but as we said, if Liverpool play the positive football in which we can show, but we have to be on our absolute top peak performance come the weekend. Zuki, how you doing, mate? We do appreciate you tuning in. Brentford, a decent team, aren't they? That Pinnock guy is a solid centre-back. Yeah, we'll just run through in terms of their team selection, everyone. Ivan Toney, they're number 19, and Mbu, number 19 for Brentford. Raya in goal. They've got the young lad, Ajer, who they recently signed from Celtic. He's really adapted to the Premier League very well. Pontus Jansson, the ex-Leeds captain, he's been in phenomenal form since he's moved from Ellen Road to Brentford anyway. Pinnock, as Zuki's already alluded to there, he's probably one of the standout performers for Brentford this season. Sergio Canos, obviously the ex-Liverpool Academy player, they signed him from, I think it was another Championship side anyway, a couple of seasons ago, but he's really, he did suffer a bad injury last year, but he's regained his form. He got Brentford's first goal in the Premier League against Arsenal. Well, we all know that, don't we? So Baptiste, I think he did get sent off against Wolves, so I think he should be missing the Liverpool game anyway. Norgard, one of the select couple of them, had a great Euros. Janlet and Henry as well. Especially with Ryan Henry down that left-hand flank. He's quite a rapid player in terms of when he does go forward. That's something to keep an eye on come the weekend anyway. And as the main man, Tony. Reds, let me know your thoughts. What are your expectations for Brentford this season? Where do you really see them finishing? How do you think both sides will approach the game? Do you think Jurgen Klopp? Yes, we've got to think positively. But in terms of how both sides will approach the game, it's an exciting game if you just want to sit back. And Liverpool, we've got to be switched on, as I said before, but I'm very positive. But it will not be an easy game, as we said. Let's get to all your comments. Use the ones that most importantly. Everyone in the comment section below. Even Jack, Tom, Jack La, and all you LFC legends on here tonight. Every single one of you absolute legends. Hope you're having a lovely evening, whatever you've been up to, whatever scran you've had. Just put your feet up after work, or if you are working the next couple of days, hopefully it's not too chock-a-blocker. 1-0 to the Red Men, tight defensive game. Tom, that's interesting. I know we've got to be positive and we play our game. It should be easy, but Tom, have you been impressed by Brentford? I'll take a 1-0, mate. Points me prizes, as Dave's famous saying is. Absolute legends, Dave. LFC chats. Points do mean prizes, mate, and I'd take another 10 1-0 wins because we know how important they can be come the end of the season. And the fans, I was speaking to Nick on the Red Sea podcast just then, a Brentford fan. He's talked about the atmosphere in and around the football club. It's been absolutely bouncing, and he alluded to Liverpool Football Club is coming to town, and they will not make it easy for the Liverpool players anyway, and obviously the travelling cop going all the way anyway in the Carabao Cup. Yes, certain clubs aren't in the Carabao Cup, Zuki, and it's too easy on social media. Well, if you're one of my mates that are Everton fans, I'm sorry, but it's too easy to find you up in it. It's been a very impressive. Ocean has said, I've been very impressed with Brentford. It will be a hard game, really, as well. John, to be honest, this Brentford game scares me a bit, but we should have enough to do it also. I have Brentford to go back down. This league will be too big a step up. It will be a struggle for them first time up. I hope they stay up. Yeah, Amons, really do hope they do stay in the Premier League, mate. They play football the right way, and like we've seen with Sheffield, yes, they had the blockbuster season. They surprised a lot of teams. But for me, mate, I look at the bottom of the Premier League and there's some absolutely shocking teams, the way in which they want to play football. Brentford, I'm telling you, mate, Thomas Frank, he's a very intelligent manager. I think he will surprise a lot of teams and a lot of pundits, really. Let's get to all your comments. Absolute legends. Good team, but we should beat them with our quality. Yes, everyone get your starting 1 to 11 in your who do you reckon will start against Brentford. Just a quick one. We'll get to Zuki's. I think they will stay up, mate. Very, very much interesting. I know the league and the Champions League are the main ones, but I'd love to do another League Cup or an FA Cup if we can, John. If you're in these competitions, you want and hope to expect to win them all. Liverpool have got an illustrious pedigree in the FA Cup. We've won the Carabao Cup 8 times, joint with Manchester City. I know they've won it 4 times, but still domestic trophies. It will come down to, John, and as we said after the Norwich game, it will be whether Liverpool balancing injuries, whether Liverpool can stay clear of injuries. We've got a very capable second string team to very much challenge in that competition, but it's whether how we're looking in terms of a couple of weeks, months' time, if Liverpool can rest a couple of players here and there anyway. Amons, we have to win home and away and against these promoted teams to be up there at the end of the season. Absolutely spot on there, Amon, matey. Let's get to all your comments as well. So 1 to 11 Reds, let me know your 1 to 11 in the comment section below. Do you envision Jurgen Klopp going with Costas or Andy Robbo? Obviously, Costas has been in excellent form, but given how attacking minded Brentford are, for me personally. I think for the bit more defensive reassurance, but as well as Robbo as good as going forward. But I think Costas, if you were playing a team that was a bit more low block in terms of them sitting on the edge of their box, Costas has got that ability in the final third to really get his head up and put the ball in the back in the danger zone, really. But I'm going to go with Ali in goal, Trent right back. Matip, I think, should come back in. Let me know your thoughts. Reds in the heart of Liverpool's defence. Go with Matip, Van Dijk, Robinson for me. Midfield, go with Fabinho, the Dyson, with the combination play of possibly Milner and Henderson, because I think we will need workhorses in the midfield. I know we've spoken about Naby. He is not looking like he's injured already, which is no surprise there. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, I'd like to see Ox, but I think given how intense the game will be in terms of the pressing and the tactically, all the players have got to be switched on, I think we will see, for me personally, I'll go with Milner and Hendo in the middle. And then we'll go with Jota. I think it's just too short to really play Firmino. It'd be great to see Firmino play, but given he's just come back from injury, I don't think we'll see him start straight away. But Jurgen Klopp would like to surprise us, wouldn't he? So we'll go with Mane, Salah and Jota for me, Reds. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Would you start Curtis Jones? It's another big shout. For me, I wouldn't be surprised if we did see Curtis play off the back of the Norwich game. Probably one of my man of the matches shouts anyway for the game. But let me know. Eamon's gone with full strength team this game as possible. Maybe Milner in midfield. Suki has gone with Ali, Trent, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Robbo, Fabinho, Hendo, Curtis. He's slotted Curtis in there. Our Scouser. Salah, Jota, and Mane. Ocean has gone with, I think Brentford will stay, and I think they will. We will beat them 3-1. Obviously, Ocean absolutely spot on there, matey. Thinking that Brentford will stay in the Premier League. It'd be great. I'm intrigued to see how Brentford do this season. Obviously, it's all looking good and rosy for Brentford, but for me, I watched quite a lot of them in the Championship when they were on telly and all that. But I tell you, Thomas Frank, if he does keep it in the Premier League, he's such an intelligent man, intelligent football manager, and he's a breath of fresh air to actually watch him in the interviews, similar to Klopp in terms of how charismatic he is. There's not many managers in the Premier League. They're all bored and farts, the majority of them, apart from my good old Jurgen. Pep goes on one sometimes. He's very intriguing to watch. He's a brainiac, really, in a positive sense. He's very intelligent, Pep, as well, as we already know. But when you've got the likes of Steve Bruce and Sean Dyche, they're bored and have a bit of personality in the press conferences. But Thomas Frank, Jurgen Klopp, they do spice it up in the Premier League, and it's positive to say. But at the end of the day, in terms of when it does come to results on the football pitch, both of them do deliver anyway. Clean sheet wins leagues, Jack. Absolutely spot on there, Tom, as always. Brentford are no mugs. On a positive note, their away performance is stronger than their home form so far this year, Tom. Yeah, it's given how well Frank's got them playing, mate. Playing that 3-5-2 formation, very counter-attacking-esque. Sometimes you do like to give up possession to the opposition teams, and then given the attacking players in which you do have on offer, the sheer pace in behind teams, like we've seen it against Wolves. Tony should have really had a hat-trick, but given the offside calls he did have, he will surprise a lot of teams, and he's spot on there, Tom. I think they're very much similar to Liverpool in a sense, where teams sometimes, when they are playing at home, will have to push out, and that just allows space for Liverpool and the likes of Brentford and the likes of Cities and the Chelsea to very much counter-attack and getting the space in behind. Anyway, Curtis should start. I love him, man. He hasn't much game time. Yeah, Zuki, I think you will very much see that changing, mate. As we said, all of us, every Liverpool fan around the world, he's got a bright future at the football club, and the more minutes he does get, especially if Naby, we don't know what's happening in the next 2 years. He's not looking like he will sign a new deal, given Liverpool. I think it would be very silly to offer him a new deal, given how injury-ridden his career has been at Liverpool. But Curtis, it's a big season for him, and in the next couple of seasons, and he's got that quality, don't we know? Zuki, and every single one of us know, if this man does play in midfield come the weekend, I think we will see very much a man of the match performance from him. Jones to start ahead of Milner might be Klopp's thinking. No worries with that either. Absolutely spot on there, Eamons. So it was only going to be a short one, Reds. As we said, we've spoken about how great Thomas Frank has got his Brentford side going. We've spoken how our expectations and hopes for Brentford, as I said, play football the right way. It's electric to see them in the Premier League. Very different, considering obviously all the yo-yo typical teams that you do see in the Premier League that just come into the Premier League and just happy to go back down. Brentford, like Sheffield United, yes, Sheffield United went down straight away in the second season, but they come into the Premier League and give the league a go and weren't negative. I know sometimes some managers, they're far too reserved in the way in which you approach. You look at Norwich, yes, they do try and attack, but I think Brentford are a step above them in terms of quality, in terms of tactically as well. But I looked at we all looked at the Premier League last season, even the seasons before. Some shocking teams in the Prem. With our first team back, we should 3-1 the Reds. I'm going to go with a 3-1 as well. Apologies. I'm going to go with a 3-1 for Liverpool as well. Won't be an easy one, but I think Liverpool can get a nice early goal. Will be fantastic. Zuki, I'm going to go a big 3-0 win if we have our normal back four as well. And if you are watching this, whatever platform you are, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the follow button, and if you don't mind dropping a like on the video as well if you are enjoying it. And if you have missed the beginning of the episode, you can always rewind this and get involved with all your fellow Reds around the world. But positive Reds, I'm very intrigued. It's going to be an exciting, tactically inept game, really. Thomas Frank against Jurgen Klopp. They could almost be brothers, couldn't they? But absolutely spot on. Fantastic. And all the best to Brentford this season because they play football the right way. And it's been a long time. It's 1940. Let's get that quick stat up anyway, just before we play out. Last time we met in the league was 1947. And that was a 1-1 draw at Griffin Park. So, and obviously we did play them in 1989 when we won 4-0 at Anfield, but it's cracking. Everyone, John as well. I'm sure I don't miss anyone's comments. Hi, Jack. Loving all your streams, John. Really do appreciate it. Every single one of you. I know all of you can't jump on the live streams, but everyone watching them on the repeat or pre-match as well, really do appreciate it. Hopefully, every single one of you is keeping safe and well. If you need anything, I'm always free on my DMs. Hit me up. If you want to talk and all that, because I know it has been difficult for everyone over the last 18 months anyway. We're a big, massive Liverpool family, not just me, but all the Liverpool content creators and football fans in general. We all look after one another anyway. But Eamons, take care as well. Right, I'm changing it to 4-0 now. Suki, put that in your yakka. Cheers, Jack. See you Saturday night after the win. Fingers crossed, mate. Up to 96 as well. You'll never walk alone. See you later, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. As Tom's queued us up, I'll see you after the game but I'll see you tomorrow for another stream as well. So see you tomorrow as well. Walk alone, Reds. Ta-ra.